Hey everyone, welcome back to another art video. Today I'm working on some fan art for Animal Crossing. I just love Animal Crossing. I played Animal Crossing New Leaf and I also played Pocket Camp. And so now I'm making some New Horizons fan art. I'm drawing my villagers and I'm going to turn them into little characters using shrink plastic. Right now I'm sketching out Eugene. He's my favorite character in my town. Actually, he's my favorite character in the whole game. So I just made little 2.5 by 4 inch squares and I'm drawing in my characters, and then later I will transfer them to the shrink plastic. Now I didn't record all of my sketching process, but I did record most of the coloring process. You'll see right now I'm sketching out Ava. Okay, so the shrink plastic that I use is the Shrinky Dinks, and I use the Rough and Ready one. It just gives a nice texture. I don't know if you can see this on camera, but it's nice and frosted. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so right now I have taped down my shrink plastic on top of my sketchbook paper, and I'm tracing over my sketching lines to transfer it to the shrink plastic with a pencil. If I were to do this in the future again, I would not use the pencil. I would completely skip this step. I found that the pencil lines smudge whenever you color over them. So what I would do instead is I would just put down the shrink plastic and then color directly on top of it with your sketchbook guides underneath it, like tape down. So right here I'm coloring Eugene, and I'm using my Prismacolor Premier pencils. These pencils work so nicely with the Rough and Ready shrink plastic. The texture from the shrink plastic makes it to where the colored pencil holds on really nicely, and it just gives a nice layer of color. I don't know how it would perform if the shrink plastic was smooth. So if you're going to use colored pencils to do this, I would highly recommend getting the Rough and Ready one. This is Clyde here that I'm coloring. He's a little horse in my town. And then I'm moving on to Jay. Here on Jay you can see a little bit that the left side of Jay, the very bottom part, doesn't have as much coloring. And it's because I didn't know this at the time, but there's like a 1/2 inch piece of area down there on the bottom part of the paper where the shrink plastic just does not have as much texture, and so the colored pencil does not have that much texture for it to hold on to, so the color looks very thin there. Then that little frog is Henry, and right now I'm working on Shari. Now I didn't capture all of the coloring. There was times whenever my camera stopped recording and I didn't realize it. So you'll see little jumps, like whenever I was coloring Ava and it just kind of jumped to like a finished coloring of Ava. This here is Tammy, and the next one is what's his name? Elvis, and he has the same coloring problems that happened with Jay the bird. Now whenever you get ready to bake these, you want to bake them according to the package instructions for the best results. And I'll show you how my finished pieces turned out in just a second. This is before I bake them, after I cut them out. Okay, so I really like how these turned out. I think they're so cute. They're just the perfect size too. I was afraid that they would be too small whenever I was drawing them once they shrunk down, but they're actually a really good size. And they turned out so nice. Here on Jay and Elvis, you can see that the color doesn't stick as well to this left side. And it's because this is where Jay and Elvis, whenever I colored them on the sheet, they were on the very bottom, if you remember, and I didn't realize it at the time, but there was this layer, this small layer towards like maybe half an inch thick, towards the end of the sheet where the texture from the Rough and Ready design is just not as strong there. So the colored pencil just really doesn't have anything to hang on to. So yeah, that's my only regret, is just that I shouldn't have colored them so close to the edge. If I had known, I would have moved it. But other than that, these turned out really great. Eugene here is my favorite, of course, but Shari is just so adorable. I love her design. I think she's so cute, and this little design, just whenever it shrank down, it just looks so cute. And also here for Clyde, now I realize I could have put more design here on his shirt. At the time, I wasn't quite sure if I put the little pattern on his shirt, if it would show up whenever it shrank down. And same thing for Ava, I could have added some more detail into her dress. But now I know that you would be able to see it once you shrunk it down. But I'm so happy with these. I think that they look so great, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed it too, and that maybe you could make your own. Thank you for watching.